And I'm live, I think. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to adjust this camera. I don't want it there. I want it here. It looks a little cooler. I don't know. You tell me. Hey, everybody. Anybody? I don't know if anyone's there. But, hi. Camera seems to be working better today. Hopefully it keeps working better. Hey, Henry. Hey, Hashem. I see a couple people in here. Hopefully some people decide to come in. I see Mariah, Essence, Samra, Alyssa. Starting to get a few people in here. So that would be cool. I'm doing okay. And little news. I'll tell you about it in a minute. Some of you that go to VNA probably already know. Unfortunately, there has been a positive case of COVID at VNA. And unfortunately, some of us are going to have to go into quarantine, including myself. Not me, but unfortunately somebody. Hang on a second. Hopefully that's better. I don't know. I'm trying to mess with the lighting still. Hey, Hamza, how are you? So I'm in quarantine, and it stinks, to be honest. It's terrible. I'm downstairs in my basement right now in my office, and I'm not supposed to be by my family. I took a test last night, and for those of you that don't know, maybe this is new to you, so maybe you're getting a little lesson here. Oh, that lighting looks terrible. I'm going to turn on the regular lights in my room here and hope that you don't get too blinded. Yeah, that's much better, right? I look better there a little bit, except for that light right above my head. This one. So I'm going to turn this one off because it's driving me insane. All right. Hey, how are you guys? Olivia and Lucia. So as I was saying, unfortunately, there was a positive COVID test by somebody at VNA. And as a result of that, I'm in quarantine. So are some of the teachers in my building. Not everybody, but some people. And it kind of stinks. I got a test last night. I'm not going to get the results back, unfortunately, until tomorrow at the soonest. I'm hoping by some miracle here tonight, but I don't hear right now. So I don't know, so I have to stay away from my family, which really stinks because anyone that knows me knows that obviously I love being with my family, like most people, but I'm biased, but I think even more so. So, hey, Haley, how are you? And so last night I had to stay downstairs. I slept downstairs. I'm trying to avoid everybody until I get the results of my test. Hey, Isaiah, how are you? But it really stinks. So I spent this morning outside just kind of doing yard work and things. I like to do work on my off time. And now, to be honest, to keep myself a little distracted. Thank you, Xavier. Yeah, to keep myself a little distracted, I'm down here and I figured, why not? I figured out how to hook up my new camera to my YouTube live stream. So I'd see who was out there. Maybe have a little bit of a discussion. Let's see what you guys bring up. Thank you, Essen. Tell your mom I wish her the best. Your mom's always been one of my biggest fans. So you and your sister, thank you so much. But right now, yeah, like I said, I kind of stuck, and Kylie was really upset when I got home yesterday. She obviously thought the worst immediately because, she's 11 and believe it or not, for some reason she loves me. So, she kind of really was upset that, I have it. I don't have any symptoms. I'm fine. I actually feel the best I felt in a couple months. So it's not me being symptomatic. It's just sort of, you have to take this test. And if you are going to take a test for anyone, if you're exposed to somebody, if you're for a significant amount of time, if you're within 6 feet of them for a certain period of time consistently, then you have to get a test. And that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, right now, and because of that, there's some things that are happening at VNA. Not everybody, but the kids that are in my group, they have to be, they're in quarantine also, until the 27th, which I think is, about 2 weeks. So, this is difficult on everybody. Nobody's doing this to us. This is just kind of what's happening, and yeah, we want this, we want this to go away. I don't know if I don't think I have it, but I have no idea of knowing that. That's kind of the really scary thing about all of this. The person that did test positive, they were asymptomatic. They didn't have any indication that they weren't feeling well. They don't have a fever or temperature. We do all of those tests at work, and they, like all of us, were taking those tests, and there was no issue until there was. So right now, like I said, I'm in isolation. I'm down here. I can talk to you. One of the cool things about all of this is that I like doing the live stream. So at least I have some contact with somebody. My wife kind of makes me a meal or something and leaves it on the stairs. So I almost feel like I'm in prison or something. But, it is what it is. Yeah, hopefully it comes back negative. And hopefully it'd be great if I heard by the end of the day today, or at least early morning tomorrow. My son has 2 soccer games tomorrow at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. And he's on a travel team. So it's pretty competitive and he likes it. And I obviously like watching him play. I'm a football guy, but I love watching my kids play sports and play them well. And that's what's happening with him. That's an interesting question. Since we have come back to VNA, like in September, I think this is the first one. I think early on when we went in, when everybody stayed home because of the pandemic, I think some people may have been sick at that time, but we were away at school, so we didn't know. But I think this is, as far as I know, the first positive test at VNA. So, we're doing everything we can to handle it. Miss Gilligan and the administrators are trying to, keep everyone safe, and they've been sending out emails and things. So for current students that are here watching this, you've probably gotten those emails. For former students, you kind of know the deal because unfortunately, in your schools, maybe you've dealt with that as well. Hey, Christian, how are you? Wow, long time, Christian. So, yeah, it's weird, because you start to feel really comfortable and you start to feel like, oh, this is fine and we'll be fine. And, people are exaggerating, you start to feel that sometimes. And the reality is that every day, a lot of people are getting sick, and every day there are more people than should be that are dying from it. Now, again, I don't think I'm sick, but I don't know. But you got to take the precautions. You can't just throw caution to the wind. Sometimes it's just like, I'm going to do what I want to do. But it sucks. I'm down here in my basement, and I have a nice little basement. I have a nice little setup. And I also have a man cave, but I'm kind of just staying in here. And, so, oh, wow. So Mariah, someone in your school had it also, and you had to quarantine. So you had to stay home for how long? Was it a week, 2 weeks? What was it? And what school was that, Mariah? I'm patiently waiting for an answer. I had a hat on, by the way, so I got all this weird hat hair. Usually at school, I put gel in my hair, but on the weekends, usually I don't. So I hope my hair doesn't look too ridiculous. 3 weeks in high school. So you had, teaching professions. Okay. Well, I'm lucky. We have a nice big house. I have 3 bathrooms in this house. So there's one bathroom just for me. Hey, Parisa, how are you? And so right now I'm just kind of using one bathroom, and the kids aren't using that bathroom. And, I brush my teeth, take a shower, whole deal, and, so I'm lucky in that way. It's got to be a lot worse for people that, don't have the space that we have. In a way, this is not a blessing, but I feel fortunate that, I've spent my life working really hard and can have a nice size house where if I did have to kind of stay away, I can without, being in like a closet or separated, something like that. So yeah, I do have a bathroom, but it's not in the basement. I do have to go upstairs, but it's just sort of like I literally put on a mask and go to the bathroom. So you miss VNA. I hear you, Maria. I'm glad to hear. I'm surprised to hear you say that, Maria, because sometimes I didn't know how much you appreciated it, but I'm glad that you appreciate it. Oh, wow. So some of you go to the same school and don't know each other. That's interesting. Like, I wonder, like, of those of you here, do any of you talk to each other still? Like that we're in the same class, like Essence and Mariah, you both graduated last year. I don't remember if you were friends though. I don't know, but it sounds like you go to the same school, Oh, okay. Who else is here? Was that Haley Marrera? Was that you, Haley, that I saw before? If you're still here, could you shout out? Because Haley's one of my first VNA students, and she's got to be, I guess, at 20 now or 21. And she was always like low key, super cool. And she actually gave me some good advice about looking for skateboards for my daughter. So if she's here, that would be amazing. you know. Anyway, but I don't know if she's here. Let's see. Okay. I was a little confused, Essence. I get confused with all the schools. And up here where we live, and for those who don't know, I live in Dutchess County, so I'm about 65 miles away from VNA. The schools are different. The kids don't really get to pick their middle school. They go to the middle school that's in their district. So both Dal and Kylie go to Unionvale Middle School, which is about 5 miles from here. Take a bus. And next year, Dallas starts high school, and the high school is literally half mile down the street. Like he'll walk to school then. But the high school is huge. It has like 5,000 kids in it. It's like a small city, So yeah, the schools here are pretty nice. They do things a little different here. Like I would argue that VNA is a better school than my kids' middle school now. I believe that. I think you guys were lucky to have that experience. Those of you that went or go to VNA, and sometimes you take it for granted. So it was nice to hear some of you say you miss VNA because maybe now that you're in another school, you realize what you had with us at Van Nest, but yeah, so up here though, they go to this, they only started going to school this week for the first time. They were doing full remote until this past week. And, they're going to class every morning, and they have to be on camera, which I wish you guys did, because I got to admit sometimes, and we talked about this last live stream, I miss interacting with you and hearing from you and getting questions and responses and seeing your faces when I do certain things, but we can't force you to turn on the camera. We just kind of heavily encourage it. I have seen you grow in that. I do see some students in particular, some of you that are here are very good at participating, but even those of you that aren't necessarily good at that, at least you use the chat and things like that. And I think it's really helpful for me and your teachers and for you, obviously. So anyhow, yeah, just kind of a weird day, Yeah, I always thought, one of the first things that I remember my first year at VNA, I had a student named Najee, and great kid. And he was the first student, one of the first students I met there, one of my first students. And he was gay. He is gay. And he was very cool about it. It was just like, yeah, gay. And what I thought was great was that the other kids were like, oh, yeah. And it was like another thing, like that nobody treated him better or worse or differently. And he was allowed to be who he was. And that's not the same every place. And it certainly wasn't like that when I was a kid. When I was a kid, people used the worst words to describe people and say things about each other. And you had to act a certain way. You were expected to behave a certain way and things like that. And, but and even the other schools that I worked at some roughneck places before I got to VNA. And, it was rough. You had to behave in a certain way, act a certain way. If you acted a certain way, then people would be all over you sometimes. And I really don't see that here. It's not perfect. No place is perfect. But I do recognize that there's some good things that happen at VNA, and it makes us a little bit unique. Yeah, I think that is pretty cool. I'm not going to say lit, Isaiah, because I'm 49 years old. I sound like an old man if I say that. Yeah. Yeah. Parisa, I appreciate that you appreciate that, we don't talk about it much because, I think everyone's sexuality and things is their own business, and I do know that I try to create a place that's safe. And if you guys did want to talk, you guys know you can talk to me, not necessarily here on my live stream, but, but there's some students that haven't always had the most comfortable time at VNA, but I think they're in the minority. I think the large majority of people have appreciated what they've had here. And that's sort of, that's something that carries over. So hopefully, we're going to get through all of this, and in a couple weeks when I'm back and we get back, things will be normal. The football team, which football team? At Columbus? Well, right now, all football is postponed. All city football is postponed. So I have not practice or seen my kids. I had a Zoom meeting with them over the summer. I know some of them working out at Columbus, but right now, if you don't work in a school, it's really difficult to get into that school. So I have not even had a chance to go to Columbus. I message with those guys on Instagram and, see how they're doing there. But right now there is no football. So, kind of stinks. Well, obviously there's still professional league. Who's King of Vance? I'm curious. I can't remember who that was. But obviously there's professional football. If you turn on TV on Sunday, it's on all day. So they are having professional football. Okay, Xavier, I guess you don't watch that. But yeah, no, professional football hasn't stopped. That's been going. They don't have fans at some of the stadiums, or they have a very limited number of fans at the stadiums. My plan had been what's up, Darren? I had wanted to take my son Dallas to Dallas to see a football game this year, but then everything hit, and obviously we couldn't do that. It would have been expensive, but it would have been something really special, and that's gone. Maybe next year. We'll see. But yeah, all high school sports in the city right now have been really strictly regulated, especially football, because it's very close contact, and there's a lot of sweat and spit and breathing hard. And, they're just really worried about that. I really hope we can come back in March and do sort of an abbreviated season, but there hasn't been much on that yet. Full online, Mariah, I'm not surprised. That stinks for you as a freshman. You're kind of missing out on part of the experience of being, a high school student. But if that's going to keep everyone safe, I can't fault them. I hope that teachers are finding ways to keep you engaged. I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're trying, not just you, but in general, because I think sometimes students, and this is something that I've talked about, where students sort of, if they'll take the easier way out all the time, they won't challenge themselves. They'll just accept like, oh, this is boring, or the teacher's boring, or I'm kind of paying attention and I'll get the work done. And you're cheating yourself. I know it already stinks because you have kind of a lesser experience right now, but I hope you're trying to make the most of it. I think that's really important. Adriana, how are you? Yeah, I don't like textbooks. You guys know that about me. Thank you, Nashale. Thank you, Essence, for saying that. Yeah, I want everything to get back to normal. Not just for me. I want to go upstairs. I want to play with my kids. I can't even pet my dogs right now. Part of quarantine is you're not supposed to touch the things that other people are touching. So that includes my pets. I got 2 dogs upstairs. Well, thank you. Who's Thunderbeam? Again, you guys have these crazy names, and sometimes I don't know who's who. But whoever that is, thank you for saying that. Hamza. Okay. Thank you for saying that. But until things get, closer to normal, and that might be in the spring, that might be in the summer, that might be next school year, I don't know. But don't cheat yourself. Don't just accept that this class is boring. Hey, what's up, Lennon? Lennon, what a good guy. Wow, good to see you. I try to make them fun. I don't, I think right now, those of you that are here that have had me in 8th grade, kind of, had me before, I think you might appreciate my class more than maybe the 7th graders I have now, because they've never had me the way that I normally teach. So, I think for them, I think they like my class, but it is a funny thing. Every year, I'm always like, this year's kids, I don't know if they like my class this year. I still always feel that, after more than 26 years, I'm still like, I hope they're getting what I'm doing. I hope they appreciate what I'm doing. Oh wow, Mariah, that's terrible. But I'm glad you didn't have it. Is your dad feeling better now? I hope he's okay. Anyhow, so wow, I'm kind of just blabbing on. Well, I hope they're fun, but I also hope that you're understanding the concepts that I'm trying to teach you, and they're sticking with you. Those of you that are in high school now, and there's a lot of you here that are in high school, I hope what we did in 7th and 8th grade stuck with you, so that when you're taking global, you start taking U.S. history classes, that you remember a little bit better than maybe you would have if you weren't in my class. That's the goal. That's always been the goal. Anyone doing anything fun today besides this? Of course, this is always fun. But AP is tough. It is, but anything worth having is going to be tough. Adriana coaching soccer. That's cool. Oh, Parisa, that's right. Happy Parisa's 11 years old. Congratulations, Parisa. You know, she made it. So she's not writing back. Come on, you gotta write back. It was cold this morning. I was out early this morning. I know you're 13. Happy birthday, Parisa. You know I love you. You know, this morning, Summer, it was unbelievably cold. I had to be out very early this morning, and it was very, very cold. I got up at like 7 to walk my dogs, and it's not too bad now. I put up my Christmas lights. I did some work in my yard in my garage because there's no one there, so I don't have to worry about being isolated there. You know, what's up, Jeff? This is funny. This is probably the longest one I've done because now we're over 20 minutes. And now I'm starting to see people pop in, which is cool. I see Jeff in here now. That's cool. Summer's in here. So I hope you guys, for those of you that now are going to be in quarantine, I still expect you to be in classes. I still expect you to get your work done. So all of your teachers. And knowing that we're going through this too, I hope you're continuing to be cool, like being patient with us and trying to participate a little bit more and not just from my class. Generally, I do get a good response from my class, but I think sometimes some of you will be like, oh, this class is, you know, this way, and that's not the way that I would like it, you know, and I need you to get past that a little bit, you know. Stay safe. I hope if you're going out, you're wearing a mask, you're washing your hands a lot, you're doing all those things because it does matter, you know, and hopefully if we keep doing that, we'll gradually build up our immunity systems, and over time, you know, maybe 3 months from now, maybe 6 months from now, whenever the case might be, we'll be better off for all of this somehow. All right. Yeah. There's a good chance that schools may be closing this week. They're saying in the city, you know, because there is this fear that the numbers are going up, and they don't want the numbers to get to anywhere close to where they were in the early spring last year. So yeah, there is that possibility. Watch the news. Keep up. I know as of yesterday, the rate was 2.8% positive rate, which is, if it gets above 3, Mayor de Blasio has talked about closing the schools. So we're very, very close. So it's quite possible that we'll be going full remote, but we're not there yet. If you're supposed to be going, you know, then, you know, we'll see. Yeah, but it's not gone just yet. Yeah, and Mariah, I have heard there. Yeah, we're kind of in the midst of starting this second wave. But I hope, I try to be optimistic. I feel like we've learned a lot in these 6 or 7 months since this all started. 8 months now, almost. You know, so hopefully we're a little bit better prepared to handle the second wave than we were the first, and that maybe we can put it aside more quickly. Hopefully, our you know, people feel a little bit more motivated and inspired to handle this the right way. Hopefully they keep working on the vaccines. And I know, but those things are coming. Kylie's liking the skateboards, and, you know, she's got to do it a little bit more, but she wants to start doing ollies and tricks and stuff. And, you know, she's starting to listen to different music. She tried coloring the front of her hair orange today, but I think she's got to bleach it. She's never done that. My wife doesn't want to bleach it, but I think they might try just to give her the color she wants. And I love that she's trying to be unique. You know, she's not basic, like you guys would say, you know. Anyway, if that's it, anyone got anything you want to say? I wish I could see you guys. She's not an icon yet. Maybe someday, you know. Anything you guys want to say? I want to find out a way to, if I could see you guys too. I know, like, you can do that on Instagram, kind of, but Instagram seems a little bit more like, oh, I'm on my phone. You can't really do it through your computer. You can't have it the same way. But that's something I'm working on. Subscribe, get your friends to subscribe, and hopefully we get over 500, and then I can do this from my phone. We can go remote. We can keep exploring, having fun. All right, guys, stay safe. Yeah, but that's not the same. I don't know. A Zoom meeting feels kind of, you know, you have to, I don't know. I like the idea of YouTube and being able to share it a little bit more, you know. She's gonna keep working, Xavier. She's definitely. I think she's motivated. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna end this. Be good. See you all soon. Well, I'll see you online. I'm not gonna see you in school this week, but I'll see you all soon. All right, be good.